Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of Day 4 with Frank Scalish. We're already up to 216. I'm just saying, Frank, I'll just say it like right off the bat. So like sometimes we have weeks where we just are like banging to get into the show and we can't wait to talk about it and it's just full of excitement and all of that. Like just a lot of stuff going on in the world today. Never have, never will get into politics on a fishing show.
Nope.
But also it's, it built into me. I was 17 when it happened. Today is September 11th.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that there are viewers and listeners to this show who weren't even alive when that happened, when it's so built into the fabric of our country and such a pivotal change and moment and profound sadness for a lot of the other people who are watching and listening, probably me and you included. So definitely wanted to start off the show by mentioning that there is a gentleman and he fishes like his thing is like setting world records for numbers of fish and stuff. And I saw it was in the MPFL that Jeff Kolzinski.
Okay.
He's trying to catch 2,977 fish today in 24 hours, one for each of the 9/11 victims. So
that's interesting.
Cool. First thing I did when I heard about it is I literally went fishing. Like as it was happening, like I was freaked out. I had just gotten my driver's license. I had a red Pontiac Grand Am 2-door GT. And I threw a couple bass rods in and went down to the old Rock Springs pond to get away from everything for a few hours.
Yeah, I was a little older than you when it happened, and I was actually downtown working, and I was just in utter disbelief that all this was going on. Like it was unbelievable experience, and yeah, man, it was wild.
2001, 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Hard to believe.
I know. It's been a while.
All right. We're still going to talk about some fishing today, though. And we actually have some cool stuff. If you remember, last week, Frank.
Last week.
I mentioned when I came in on day one of Leech Lake, and a gentleman had some vintage plastics, not lures, plastics for me. And I put him under the driver's side or passenger side seat, and then I didn't get his name. And then Mark actually shot me a message and said, "Hey, thanks for the shout out last week. Just wanted to show my appreciation to BTL." He said, "I enjoy all your shows, and I really like Frank's insight. Great info.
I have insight.
Keep up the great work." So I thought we need to go through some of these plastics.
We have to, because I've thrown most of them.
So we'll start with the one that I am least familiar with. And I do not know if you are familiar with the Intimidator crescent ringed baits on steroids, garlic scented, endorsed by Jeff Snyder.
Yep. 100%. And don't open that bag.
I'm not. I want to
regret it.
It's looks like kind of like a ringed fry.
Yeah. Yep.
You know who Jeff Snyder is?
Yep. Absolutely.
Who is Jeff Snyder?
He was a local guy here, smallmouth guy on the lake.
Okay. Next is something that is near and dear to my heart. It is being billed on the package here as the winning bait of the 1993 Megabucks tournament.
Oh my God, I remember Megabucks, dude.
It's the original salty one. There are 4 records caught on Gene LaRue products. The Oklahoma white, this is all on the back of the bag of this, by the way. The Oklahoma State record white crappie, 4 pounds, 15 ounces. The Oklahoma State record largemouth, 14 pounds, 10 ounces. The Oklahoma State record smallmouth, 6 pounds, 15 ounces. And the New Mexico State record largemouth at 15 pounds, 12 ounces. This is when LaRue is out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's the top pro's top secret. Over the last 4 years, more than $100,000 and up in tournaments have been won on a Jean LaRue salt craw, more than any other single lure in the market. That right there is a 30-year-old pack.
Yeah,
30-year-old plus pack of Jean LaRue original. It's now a Pradco brand, right?
Yeah, it is. It's in fact the Jean LaRue baits are the ones they're making are still the same. They're made under Yum now.
Yeah. So this is the 6-inch.
That's the craw, right?
Hog salt craw in pumpkin pepper green.
Yep.
I'm not going to open that either. All these are like perfect, so I'm scared to open any of them. All right, now we'll get to the rest of them. So this is in green weenie, designed specifically to catch larger fish. Greg Stump's original, patent pending. They have helped Western fishermen win $500,000. And some of these baits are designed by top West Coast pros, including John Murray and Fred Ward. You know what I'm talking about?
Throw it up there. No. Oh, yeah, the zipper. Yeah, I used to throw those.
That is an OG zipper pack of unopened zipper worms. Phenomenal. By Big Bass Series zipper worm. And then I'm so excited because these are going into the studio. Mark made my day. Like I said, these were under my seat for like 4 or 5 days, and then I was like, oh crap, I need to go look at those because I remember seeing the zipper on top, but it was after the first day, and I didn't want people to think that like Mark was sliding me some secret Leech Lake baits. So they were out of sight, out of mind. And then afterwards I remembered. And dude, I don't know how Mark kept these in working pristine order. This is the original soft stick bait with an erratic, out of control action that instigates savage strikes and aggressive behavior from all predators, especially from big bass.
Yeah. That bait's probably the least of the age-wise ones. No, maybe that's the oldest.
It might be. It literally there's a lot on how to rig it and how to fish it, because at the time there was no other bait that was rigged or fished like this.
And actually, In Fisherman did a huge thing about that bait. When I was a kid, I remember it like hands down.
It says the erratic action triggers predatory instincts like that of an injured or disoriented bait fish. Then in bold letters here, it says it must be rigged straight, no bends, no kinks.
That's true. That's very true. We've come a long way since the Sluggo boys.
That is a pristine pack.
Yeah, even the colors didn't fade. That's
Herb Reed's original incredible action Lunker City 4.5-inch Sluggo.
That's outstanding.
All of those baits, I think, I need to figure out, like, I was considering like vacuum sealing these and then cutting around and then like kind of framing them. I have never seen like soft plastics like on a wall in a frame, but I feel like to preserve them, you could still be able to see. You can vacuum seal to where it would be clear. I think if I could do it perfectly, get like 1, 2, 3, 4, vacuum seal them, then cut around the frame and then put them on the wall, I think that might be.
I would do that because because if the air doesn't get to them, they won't damage. And so here, I'm going to tell you what happened. So when I made my first classic, I made a 35-mile run for one bite. And it was a 5 something, and I caught it on a 10-inch Zoom worm, an old monster, and I saved the worm. Only like a dum-dum, I didn't put it in where air couldn't get to it.
And it disintegrated.
So as of today, that 10-inch worm is about 4.5 inches. I still have it, but it's about like that instead of like that. So yeah.
I think I'm never gonna use these. I'm never gonna open these.
No, don't.
So I don't think that vacuum sealing would squish them the way that they're laid out in the bag. As long as I get them nice and flat, I think it would actually preserve them. So literally in 30 years. They should be exactly the same, and at that point they'll be like 80-year-old plastics.
Yeah,
they'll be like 30, 50, 60-year-old plastics.
Yeah, you need to do that. You do need to do that.
Let's just get right into a question, and then we'll go on to the next topic.
All right,
Fishing
guys.
Adventure says, guys, I'm taking my 5-year-old out fishing today. What should I tie on a Zebco for bass that takes minimal skill, a.k.a. what is the best toddler co-angler bait?
I go with a 5-inch dinger rigged wacky style.
That's what I was going to go with. That's what we're getting.
Yeah, can't go wrong, dude.
Either that or, what is the best toddler co-angler bait? Yeah, if you're going artificial. I mean, the best is the corkin crawler.
Yeah, well, yeah, live bait. But yeah, I mean, rig a wacky rig dinger, 4-inch, 5-inch.
And then literally can reel it in, can let it set, you can do whatever the hell you want with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very versatile. He'll have minimum issues with it for sure.
Lincoln's saying a Pop-R. I would not trust a 5-year-old with a Pop-R.
Yeah, that would scare me to death, dude. I was fishing with Frankie when he was little one time.
He just posted. Have at it.
He's gonna kill me. He's gonna absolutely
let me
kill me.
Let me get it big.
He's gonna kill me. So we were fishing this tournament. He was little, like I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years old, and he could use a bait caster then. All right, so you're throwing me off with the background music, but let her rip. And so I was catching them on DD22s and Fat Free 7s and Carolina rigs. Go figure. And this insane deluge of a storm came in. Like, I mean, threatening, thunder, lightning, everything. And so I'm driving to your house right now. He's gonna So anyhow, so we had a big bag of bass. We caught him right off the rip in the morning. And Frankie's, he's a little kid and he's pumped. He wants to
still have a beard at that point.
Yeah, he was born with one. And so he goes, do you think we won? And I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure we got it won, but there's still a lot of daytime left. And I said, we got to go underneath the bridge because the lightning and the storm was bad. And so I had given him a DD22 on braided line so he couldn't booger it up too bad. And we go underneath the bridge, and I bend down on the front deck to drop the trolling motor down so I could keep us under the bridge. And he picks up his rod, and I go, no, don't do that. And he goes to sling a cast out there, and he literally puts the DD22 right in the crack of my butt.
Oh!
Now, I am so fortunate. I did
not see that twist coming.
No, dude, I was so fortunate because
what a shocking turn of events.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, drop your donuts. So it was like, but I was it depends on bottom composition. So yeah, so literally, I was so fortunate that the treble hooks went through my jeans, but they didn't penetrate my skin to the barb. And I was like, oh my God. I just saw it unfolding as I was, bent over with the trolling motor. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the whole.
You said no.
I go, no, don't. But yeah, don't be mad, Frank. Don't be mad.
I'll let you go next too. You told me before we went live, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this, if you don't want to, but you mentioned before we went live that you chatted with Bob Cobb.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my God. Okay, so this has to do with obviously the Bass Hall of Fame baits, et cetera, et cetera. So yesterday I had to talk with Bob Cobb.
Like, did he call you or did you call him?
I called him, but,
okay.
But he was told I was going to call him.
Right,
so
right. You were told to call Bob Cobb.
Correct. And so I don't get nervous talking to anybody ever. Mm-hmm. I don't care how famous. I don't care. None of it bothers. Not like I don't care. People are people. I just look at people as people, and that's that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I call him up and of course. I got a voicemail. So I'm like, man, I said, hey, Bob, it's Frank Scalish. I'm calling you. We got to talk about da-da-da-da-da. And I hang up, and 2 seconds later, my phone rings, and he's like, hey, Frank, it's Bob Cobb. And I'm like, oh, my God. All of a sudden, dude, I'm talking to him, and I got nervy. I got, like, really nervy. For those who don't know, all right, Bob Cobb was like the original TV MC of Bassmasters, all right? And when I was growing up, his voice, his commentating, hold on a second, this cat's driving me nuts. You got to get out of here. His commentating, okay, he actually is responsible
there he is right
for
there.
So many of the nomenclatures that we use in fishing today. Because he coined a lot of these phrases. You know what I mean? Like he'd be like, and it's pouring down rain, but they're catching bass, and Larry Nixon is on the mother load. And he just had all these sayings that he did. And here I am talking to him, and I got nervy, man. Like I was like, oh my God, I grew this guy. Is part of the reason I wanted to fish Bassmasters because just the way he did the television commentation was just like, and so, yeah, so I got to talk to him. It was really cool. I mean, it was really super cool. And the funny thing is like I've said, hey, Bob, how's it going a million times at all the events we do at, but I never actually sat down and had a one-on-one with the guy. It was really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, he is legendary.
Yeah.
I actually I mentioned it yesterday. So I Monday on the show, Frank, I sat I was sitting, he was sitting. So we'll call it a sit down. It was in a different location, but we were both sitting.
All right.
And now we're like sit down with CEO of BASS, Chase Anderson. Which there's been a lot of changes, a lot of decisions, a lot of things at Bass, and he doesn't do podcasts, doesn't do shows like that, and rightfully so. I mean, he runs the company Bass. He's the CEO, like the CEO. Anderson Media Group. His family's been around for 107 years. This is just one little division for them. They do some big stuff.
Yeah,
but he moved his family to Alabama. He's been a Bass member. I sat down with him for an hour and asked him a lot of questions, pointed questions about forward-facing sonar and the decisions that Bass has made and how much he's had in it. And that'll run Monday at 8:30 a.m. But I say that to say this: in the background of the office where he did his show, where all of the iconic pictures of big giant moments in bass fishing history, Bob Cobb is front and center in that mural.
Oh, he would have to be. He would 100% have to be front and center. But speaking about, you brought up the forward-facing sonar thing. So I watched every minute of the FFS or no FFS coin toss game.
Yeah.
So did I. I liked it. Like I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was kind of cool. I don't know. I liked it, man. I just think you're not banning it. It's not banned. But
I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I thought the coin toss was actually really cool. I was dialed into it, Frank. I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go.
Same here. I really enjoyed it, like a lot.
I didn't want to like it either.
Yeah, no, I
didn't want to like it.
But you got to admit, it's kind of cool. The funniest of all funniest to me was the Arkansas River. You're allowed to scope on the Arkansas River, which I thought was hilarious. But the advantage to that is you're going to be able to see stuff on the flats. You're going to see the stumps, the rocks, and shit on the flats that you're going to have to throw at.
Yeah. So what I think a lot of people don't realize is there hasn't been a major tournament on the Arkansas River since Scope has come out. There's a big lake. If you lock through Kerr, a lot of guys will lock through to Kerr, probably be one out of Kerr.
Well, it could be.
Depending on water level that time of the year, it will be one scoping shell beds in Kerr.
Probably.
No one has had it since then. With it, it'll be one on a drop shot, on stumps, and shell beds on Kerr. If I was a betting man, I would say that that's how it's going to go down there. And a lot of people are like, oh, that river. Oh, of course they get it on it. It's not going to make a difference. I think it's going to be 50-50. I think there could be turned into a scope fest. Yeah. In a good way, but that's exciting to me. Like, that's a new way to use it on a new fishery, a new body of water.
I don't know. I think it would be cool. I mean, what's the lock time to get to Kerr?
If Jason Christie's in there with you, 12 minutes. If not, half an hour.
Could be an hour.
I say that in all seriousness. If Christie's in the lock, they're filling it up as soon as his boat goes in, and they're opening the doors as soon as it is, and they're blowing the horn and saying go. If he's not, they're making sure everybody's tied up, that everything is done, and then they'll slowly close the doors. Then they'll wait 5 minutes as they slowly open them.
He'll be last boat, last flight, and they'll be waiting on him.
I mean, I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah,
it's one of the most legendary things I've ever seen. Doors were that far from being closed,
and then
you hear. We're all like, "What's going on? What's going on? What the hell is it?" And then it opens up, and then you just hear. And it gets louder, comes off pad in the lock.
Yep. And everybody's like, whoa.
Just doesn't even say anything to him, just glances up, sees the guy, and just gives him the old
we're in.
Guy gives him the thumbs up.
Yeah, we're in. We're good.
It was pretty baller.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty
cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm glad excited
you brought
about
the coin toss up. I thought it was I thought it was interesting. It's like I said, I did that interview with Chase, and in my head, I'm like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. And then you go talk to a young guy and you're like, oh, this is keeping progress from going forward. And then you talk to a veteran and you're like, oh, this, we're losing the heritage of the sport. And like, it's literally, you've got all sides, and then you've got this deal in the middle. And
it's very split. But here's what I liked about it. All right. Because they made a point on the show to say that, like, Zona made a point on the show to say that they'll strategize the minute the schedule comes out. And he's 1,000,000,000% correct. The minute the schedule would come out, I've got every map of the lake. I'm going through lake by lake, time of year, when it is, and I'm already formulating game plans for every body of water, right? So now you know that you're going to, on this particular lake, you're going to use scope. On this particular lake, you're not, okay? And so you're gonna strategize a little bit differently. So I thought about it for a second, okay? Because you got to understand something. I'm relatively new into the scope game, and I say relatively new. What am I, 3-4 years in on it now, Matt?
No, you're. Well, when was the first time you come up? That was 3 years. Wait,
yeah,
that would have been the winter of 2023.
Yeah, so I'm
24, 20. You're 2 years in. Frank.
So I'm 2 years in. Okay,
yeah.
So I was talking to Frankie the other day because him and I went fishing, but we'll get into that later. But so I was talking to him the other day, and I said, I don't scope really like a lot of guys scope. I use it really to enhance my traditional style of fishing. And it got to the point where now I'm almost not even like, I don't even need 2D sonar on the front deck of my boat because I use the scope to see my breaks, my structure piles, whatever I'm fishing.
Oh no, we lost Steve.
What
Have
do
a
you
good
mean?
day, Steve. Oh, he's saying we're talking FFS propaganda, so he's out.
Well, dude,
it makes it. That's Steve's MO. That's why I laughed. I just said that as a side note. Continue.
Right. So
no, keep going. It's day 4 with Frank Scalish. We've done 216 of these things. You have the right to talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about, as long as it's not politics.
So the point, I won't belabor the point. So the thing that I'm getting at is that I used to always, I would have to 100% rely on my 2D sonar. So 2D sonar was the most important piece of equipment on the nose of my boat. Okay. And so I got, in the beginning, I would split. I got 2D on one screen, forward facing on the other screen, and vice versa. So now what I do is I've got forward facing on one screen, and then my other unit is 3/4 of a map and then a little sliver of 2D. And so it was really bizarre. So when we got into the coin toss bit, the first thing that's stuck out to me was Champlain no forward facing sonar. And to me, it was 100% irrelevant to me, because I'm like, that would be really good for me because I've never fished that lake on forward facing. I've only traditionally fished it. I would love that because I can go do what I normally do on the lake. And here, look, I fished 4 or 5 major events on there. Well, 4 Bassmaster events and 1 FLW event. And 3 of those events, I got top 10s. One of them is a second place finish. And then in the FLW event, I walked out of there with $10,000 check. So I'm like, I would love that because then I don't have to worry about the guys that are catching the floaters. I don't have to worry about it. So that was interesting. The other interesting thing that they talked about on this coin toss show was Gunnersville and Lake Martin. They brought up something that I didn't think about, and that was, if Lake Martin does not get forward-facing sonar, then the guys got to chase largemouth, running the risk of not catching a limit.
Yeah.
Okay. I never thought about that because with live scope or forward-facing sonar on Lake Martin, guys could chase spotted bass now.
Or they could go risk on largemouth and then go fill their limit out really quick on spotted bass to where 2 or 3 largemouth then are actually play. But now the risk reward, which is what we love in this. Like the Bassmaster, the best viewing is when it comes down to it and you're watching the guys on live as they're wrapping up and they're like, the dude needs one more, and you can watch the intensity ratchet up and up and up.
Oh, 100%. And so I found that like insanely interesting. And actually I was really angry at myself for not picking up on that play for Lake Martin. The coolest thing on earth about not having it on Gunnersville is it's going right back to the days. They're going to throw the speed ends, the red rattle traps, the red chatter baits and jerk baits, and it's going to go right back to trying to find those fish in February that are already staging to move up, not the ones that haven't got there yet. You're looking for the ones that are staging to go move up, and I was like excited about that because that's how I used to have to fish Gunnersville. You follow me? So there's on both sides of this coin, no pun intended, it created excitement into the sport. And I don't disagree with it one iota. It's fair. It gives guys that want to use forward-facing sonar opportunities, and just as easily as it gives guys who don't want to use it opportunities. And the cool thing about it now is the mix of the most versatile angler is going to play in the Angler of the Year race.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's great, especially for BTL. For us, for the discussions it'll have. It'll be interesting to see. I want to circle back here. I was listening to what you're saying, but this is a couple different things. So Harold Sharp was the first tournament director, BASS. So I'm going to this is going to circle back to something you started talking about, right? So there's an article out on Bassmasters written by Dave Prett, who is also a legend in the sport with Bassmaster 2. And he wrote this in 2015. So Harold Sharp passed away at 88. He was legendary in it. So he's worth doing, but he coined an article or wrote an article in 2008. And it's on Bassmaster right now. And there is Bob Cobb working originally in there. And this is from 2008. In the beginning, Bob Cobb. And this is a whole story wrote by Harold Sharp about Bob Cobb and his importance with it. And like I said, that's kind of, I mean, look at that. It's him working there in the 60s, the early days of bass there. So that kind of puts into perspective. If you don't really know a history of the sport, definitely worth checking that out. It's called In the Beginning, Bob Cobb, and that's still on the website. And that was written in 2008, but kind of puts into perspective how important he has been, and was in the beginning, the growth and where we are currently in bass fishing.
100%. This is part of the reason that I got involved with some of the Bass Hall of Fame stuff. Because I think the history of our sport, its beginnings, are extremely important for the anglers to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because because as our sport changes, evolves, grows, even though I hate to say grows because everybody's like, grow the sport, but as our sport evolves, okay, if you know the history of the sport and how it started, where it came from, who the players were, what they went through during their times, it gives you just a better appreciation for what we have the ability to do today.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, the little green box, the little flashers. Then we got a real flasher, a digital flasher, then a depth finder that actually showed you a depth, and then the paper graph came out. And I had boxes of little rolls of paper, and you'd have to change the little stylus and put the rolls of paper in and everything. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's just fascinating, when we went from fiberglass, from metal to fiberglass, from fiberglass to graphite. So they tried to sneak boron in the mix too, but boron never took off on fishing rods.
Oh yeah, I remember you've talked about that before.
Yeah, and so so you remember all this stuff. And then from monofilament to Dacron was actually the first braid, but you couldn't cast Dacron. Of course, you couldn't cast it with the reels they had back then either. And so you could see how the reels changed, how the equipment's changed, how everything's changed, and it's evolving and evolving and evolving. And I find that part of the history fascinating. And so that's kind of why I got involved with the Bass Hall of Fame, because I think anglers should know. I mean, you should want to know. Why wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah.
The knowledge is right out in front of you. Today you click a button and you can get all the knowledge you want. So why wouldn't you take 10 minutes out of your day and research something?
Speaking of which, your order from LureNet came in. We were talking before the show that you ordered on LureNet using the BTL25 code.
Absolutely.
To get 50% off regularly priced items. But
you're
true. Pretty jacked that they nailed the 25th Bass Fishing Hall of Fame Anniversary Edition lures. You said you cannot even tell the difference between your originals and the ones that are in the package.
Yeah, I literally just got them, and I ordered 3 sets 3 complete sets of all of them. 3 complete sets. Okay. Yeah. And then because I have an issue, I ordered 6 of Rick Clunn's because this I'm fishing
no wonder
with.
That's why Rick's is sold out.
Yeah, because I'm fishing with these, and then I ordered 9 of these, 9 of Larry Nixon's Red Craw, because I'm fishing with these. So yeah, so that's.
There's just a couple left of all the rest. Like I've actually seen the numbers, and they're down into either the low double digits or the high single digits for all the rest of them. But building Rick Clunn's, the Green Gizzard, is out, but you can get those still on LureNet. They're worth it. They're worth the $15.
Yeah. So I gotta. Man, I don't even know if I should tell this story. This could be detrimental. Oh, I'm doing it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm doing it. So I paint colors, and I don't paint colors. I don't paint colors for reproduction quality. I paint colors because I paint them the way I want them. All right. And years ago, in the beginning of this, there was a lot of issues in duplication because I'm using different paints, I'm using different pearls, and somewhere along the line, we got to get from what they're using to produce these baits matching what I'm using to paint with. And so it was a very tedious process, very tedious. Like I'll tell you how tedious. I made 2-inch blocks, spray out cards of all the colors that I make, that I use, etc. And then I label them, what they were, what manufacturer the paint's from, you know, what the code number is for the paint, so they can then in turn go, well, we're using this brand, so let's find a match for this brand. Okay, whatever. So it was a long, tedious process, and in the process, some baits never hit the market because they didn't pass quality control, et cetera, et cetera. Not because the baits looked bad, it's just not what I wanted. So it was a process, and it was years in the making. So I was talking to a good friend of mine who's a professional angler, and his advice to me was just paint things more simplistically, and then you won't have to go through that much trouble. And I said no, because I want what I paint on the market. And if I dumb things down, then they're not going to get better at painting. And the goal is to create and get their manufacturing process better, and so on. So it's a building block of perfection, basically. Okay. And so I never caved into that. I never caved into making something easy. And now the colors are coming out money. Like I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to point something out, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but okay, you can see it right there. So the yellow highlights that I have around these black splotches on the peacock bass, okay, the yellow highlights that I have here, I brush those in with a hairline brush, and some of my brush strokes waved out a little bit. The belly part of this bait, this part here, basically I took a stencil material and tore it to get that uneven break. They duplicated this, and I have my original. They duplicated this where my fuzzy brush stroke around the corner, they have the fuzzy brush stroke in there on it. how it's not even. You see, look at that center, the center. Whoops.
Yep.
It's, well, where the hell am I going? It's not
You're
even.
good.
They have it, and I got my original. Dude, they're spot on with it. And the back color on this bait, I have a blue pearl over an olive green, which changes the blue pearl. It dumbs it down. It muddies it up, just like a real peacock bass. And they did it, and it looks just like mine. And so I was like floored. The hardest one probably was this one. This was the hardest one because it's translucent with a ghost silver scale pattern on it. And I have pearls that gradiate. It's the pearls that are making the bait more solid. And they did it. They got it right on the money. I was so happy to see that, because that means all of the process. And dude, you guys, we're not talking a year. We're talking years of going back and forth with paint. Like, I painted for them before I was sponsored by them in Bassmasters, and I was making colors and stuff for them. The process from way back then to now, this has been a long, ongoing, growing thing. And now I'm just like, it's like you see things come to fruition, and I never caved in, and now we're able to paint like insane stuff. And so that is what excites me so much about it, because I didn't cave into the pressure of making things simple. I stayed true to my roots, and I was so happy about that. I mean, I can't, it's just, you guys don't, maybe you understand.
Yeah, no, I do. Well, I also, like you mentioned there, I don't think a lot of people realize how long you have been painting colors and designing baits for the company and the different brands. And it wasn't until the last 3 or 4 years, really the last 3 years, that it was a business decision by Pradco, by LureNet, by the brands to say, hey, we need to let people know that this is a Frank Scalish design. Yeah. And then when they did the BTL, the day 4, the people went, oh, okay. And it enhanced the sales of the lures because you knew this was a Frank, but there's a lot out there that are on the line that are in the lineup that you painted, but that was your job. Like, they said, hey, we need these colors and stuff. It just wasn't really promoted that you were the one that did it. So yeah, I mean, it's not like you just started this stuff and you're doing signature. You've been doing signature series for what, 25, 30 years.
Yeah. Since 2000,
just wasn't called a signature series stuff.
Right. Since 2001, essentially. Yeah. So it's really amazing to me because you never give up. You know what I mean? You never give up. You have to have you have to have your integrity, and I just couldn't put something out there and have my name associated with it if it wasn't exactly what I thought it should be. And so that's kind of how all this evolved. I'm excited because I didn't cave in, and I'm not going to say who told me that I should dumb things down, because he's a good friend of mine, and I would never do that. And I'm so glad I didn't, because there was a point in time where the frustrations on both my side and production side of things, and it was a lot of frustration because I'm like, no, and they're like, but you don't understand, and I'd be like, no, and then to now all of a sudden not have to worry so much. You know what I mean? They got great people in production over there, and hardworking people, and I couldn't even imagine having to paint 1,000 lures. You know what I mean? I couldn't even imagine having to do that. And so my hat's off. I'm so happy about it. You guys, I don't mean to bloviate on this, but it's just been such a long process, and to finally get it where it's smooth and it's moving, and it's just very exciting to me. And in the past, my name was never on anything. Nobody knew what I painted. I've done walleye colors for the walleye world that are famous today, especially on the Great Lakes. Like every walleye guy's got them, and then nobody knows I made them. You know what I mean? And that's okay. That's 100% okay.
Right, the crack.
Dude,
that's a custom colored DD22 right in the crack, Frankie. What are you doing?
Oh God.
Hey, I mentioned this. I mentioned this roughly once a year. Drunkwood says, I would say 90% of the hard baits that I fish I caught in the past years have been Uncle Frank's color scheme. You know Drunkwood. We all know Drunkwood.
Love the guy. I love him.
The name Drunkwood, and like I said, I bring this up. I'll bring this up now in the middle of September, because that name is actually because his business is making high-end gifts and products he's out of Louisville, out of bourbon barrels that he repurposes, and he primarily works through Etsy. And there it is right there. So if you guys are looking for a unique Christmas gift, a unique holiday thing to give to someone right there, I'd highly recommend. He does a lot. The only thing that I don't like is that longhorn is right side up. It should be upside down. As an OU grad, I think that picture, he accidentally has it. He has it right side up. It should be upside down there with the upside down longhorn. But other than that, like, he can do all sorts of custom things. It's all out of the bourbon barrels, all sorts of different stuff. I mean, he's been around forever. He has 5.2K in sales. He's been on it for 9 years. He has a 5-star rating with 1.3K rating. There it is right there. Look at that. Look at that, like OU bourbon barrel thing right there. So completely unrelated, but if you guys are looking for someone to support someone who supports the industry and has been around for a while, highly recommend Drunkwood on.
Yeah, he's a good dude too, man. He's out of control. All I know is that when he's around and I'm around, there's a problem.
There is a problem. You want to hear about a problem?
Yeah, dude. I saw a quick post you did.
Oh my gosh.
And I never asked you.
You about it. All right, I haven't said this to anyone. I'm saying it now. So, Tom Brubaker, who ran the pro team and marketing for Rather Outdoors, which is Strike King and Lose and all that stuff for a long time. He recently moved over to Fishing Chaos, which is an online tournament. How do I say this? They run tournaments online, but they also do stuff like they do the Bass Nation and stuff like that. They're the back end
kayak stuff.
They do kayak, but they also do regular bass stuff too, like the back end. They do the weigh-in procedures, all that, but they also have this online stuff to where you can set up a tournament. They run the back end, they run all the fish through the AI. They're the ones who certify everything, run the leaderboards, have the rules, all that stuff. And it's the most I guess I would say like viable and trusted online tournament fishing platform ever. I've never done it. I've never been involved with it. I've never really had a desire to know how long my bass was. But what? I'm being honest here, Frank.
You just lie anyway.
But I've noticed, Logan Parks has done stuff with it. Scott Martin's running some big tournaments with it. And I started thinking, and I was talking with Tom about this. And I've got the shirt on now, the Bass Fishing Saves Lives with St. Jude. And I was like, is there a way, instead of people just like buying a t-shirt or just donating to St. Jude, that we could incorporate some sort of tournament, some sort of online tournament into BTL, and then 100% of the proceeds go to St. Jude. And then I use the BTL sponsors to provide high-end awards for like the monthly winners, the overall winners, and whatnot. So I've had some like meetings with them, and we've come up with something like that. So beginning, kind of at the end of the month and then running all the way through April, we're going to have a Fishing Chaos BTL and St. Jude fundraiser tournament where BTL, we don't make a dime. What I said was, hey, you guys sponsor the show. I want all of that money to go into the back end of running these tournaments. I'm working with all the BTL sponsors to get the prizes for it. So if it's a $40 entry fee, $40 donates 100% of all of it goes to St. Jude. But then I said, okay, I feel like there's a lot of BTL listeners like me, like you, who are like, online tournament where you measure your fish. I don't know about that. So I'm like, okay, maybe we can get some more people involved with the charity aspect of this with St. Jude, especially with what happened with Miles, with how big the St. Jude deal is. So I said, before I roll this out or announce anything, I said, I need to go in, download the Fishing Chaos app, join the Scott Martin's doing like a nationwide one right now for like the next 3-4 months. Download it, pay my $20 for it, and see how easy it is and what I think about it and what I like about it. So I did it. Perfect. And it freaking kicks ass, Frank. It's so much fun.
So you have a special ruler, right?
Yeah. So I have a 25-inch golden rule, and it goes in there. It talks about how you have to have all the different rules and how you measure your fish. So you basically like it's just an app on it, right? So here, I'll see if I can get to home. So like it's just the app. Like there's my Fishing Chaos app, right?
Okay.
So then I can scroll over and there's the SMC nationwide tournament. So then, I can click on that and I'm already registered for it. It's super easy. The only thing you have to do is like give them access to your phone, because the picture like that runs through all their AI and you have to do all this stuff. So then like I'm in it. So then like if I submit a catch, there I am in the central region, big fish, shows where it is. You submit your catch, and then it shows up as to like all the leaderboards in the region that I'm in. So like in my region right now, so there you see, there's the fish he submitted. That's like Robert Talent. I don't know who it is, but you see the board, you just have like a little cardboard thing out there, right?
Oh, I get it.
So he's leading the central region, right? Mm-hmm. So then you scroll down, and this is a little bit of foreshadowing. So I've gone out now and I've measured it. So right now in region number 2, I am in second place. I'm a 1/4 inch behind this guy.
All right.
But here's a little bit of foreshadowing. So I'm measuring these fish, and I'm going to zoom in on that fish to where you can see it. But what do you notice below that fish, Frank? See my feet?
Yeah, dude. I don't know how you do that. You make fun of my sandals because they're all closed-toed sandals.
So I go out yesterday because I needed to get some more inches on the board. Like right now, I've got 2 21 inchers, a 20, a 19, and an 18. Yesterday, I caught 1 21 incher. However, you have to hold the phone like this. You have to make sure it's left to right, that the nose is touching the board, that you can see where the tail is, and that you have your tournament ID. It's super simple. But I just don't measure big bass. Like I never have measured a fish over 15 inches in my life. They just either go in the box or you take a picture, you weigh them, and you release them.
Right, 100%.
So I've got this thing down there, and I'm taking the picture, and I'm pumped because I knew that this gave me 4 more valuable inches. And and the next thing you know, God, the fish has flops off of that little deal, and my feet are right there.
Like he
cartwheels off of the measuring board, upside down, and the fish's natural defensive mechanism is fins out, right? So the biggest pectoral fin goes straight through the top of my big toe into the bone and nicks a vein. I mean, it looked like in the bottom of my boat, like I had murdered a baby seal. It was squirting blood out of the top of my foot. Like, look at all the blood in the bottom of the bass cap.
I'm tracking.
So I've got this fish. I've got all the blood. Like, I still haven't taken a picture. Now the fish is covered in my blood. So I have to like death grip it, rinse it off, make sure my blood is not on there. So I get home last night and the whole thing turns black and blue. So that is what the top of my toe looks like right now with where the pectoral fin went into the bone. Like I'm pretty sure that like there's no fin in there. I have cleaned it out with hydrogen peroxide. I bandaged it, the whole 9 yards. But that is probably one of the most serious fishing injuries that I have encountered over recent time.
Yeah, geez, oh man, I could sympathize with that because my most serious fishing injury, and I'm not talking about hooks and hands and stuff. I was fly fishing by Sanibel Island, and I stepped on a stingray, and it got me right in the ankle, and man, was that painful. Man, was that painful. I have the barb downstairs in my fly tying room.
Oh, you got the barb back.
Man, did it hurt. Holy crap, did that hurt. Yeah. So I sympathize with you, man. There ain't a whole lot of meat on your toes and your ankles.
No, I mean, it was straight. I was like, you have got to. I mean, dude, it was one of those things where it was squirting blood out. And I was like, what is going on? Like, it went completely numb, but it was one of those where you look down and you're like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, no doubt.
But so here's the second part to this. So we're going to be running a BTL one. And I'll do whole shows on this because I told Tom, I said, listen, I do not do this. I do not know how to do this. I am not a kayak angler. I do not measure bass. Like, I want to make sure that this is right. I said, so will you come on and just do a separate shows that walk through step by step by step? Because I feel like a lot of the BTL listeners, while we do have a lot of people who do the kayak and the online stuff, the majority is like, heard about it, not for me. That was my initial reaction to it. Same with you, Frank?
Yeah. But here, yeah, it was. But you know, the thing that I like about it is it's not a time limit. Like you go out after the show. Whoa.
Yeah, like this session for the Scott Martin, this one is open. It's like the first one, it's like September now through like September 24th. So I can just go out, and if at any time on it has to be a public body of water, you have to have the pictures, you have to use artificial bait, that type of thing. So it's not like guys that are just going out to private ponds.
Right. And so the reality of it is like you'll go out after BTL. And so you don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you don't have to
have a boat.
Right. And the thing is, the cool thing is like, if I go out fun fishing, I could turn it into an event. Just go out and catch fish. And if I get a good one, lay it on the scale, take a picture, off it goes. And so it's not a hindrance. You know what I mean? Because I value my time on the water, and it's not really going to get in the way. It's no different than taking a picture for Instagram.
Yeah. So here's the cool part. So it's broken down into regions. So you have the top anglers in each region that are going to get it. But then underneath here, there are teams. So you can you join a team as well. So there's going to be one BTL tournament that's going to run that has monthly prizes, but within that I can run separate tournaments, right? So we're going to do a day 4 Fishing Chaos tournament, but we're going to break it up into teams. So if you're registered, you can be in the overall one, and then for $20, 100% of it goes to St. Jude as well. All the prizes for that will be totally separate, but it'll be like a 2-week or a month-long one that'll be the day 4. So all the BTL listeners, day 4, donate to St. Jude. You're in this. But so like you can join a team then. And like I said, Tom will be on to do it. It takes a while to understand, but there's the team. So like in this one, it's like Scott and Roland Martin are a team, Lucas Black and Garrett Walters, Hillary and Tristan McCormick, Dakota Eber Easton, and then Kyle Patrick and Logan Park. So I joined Team Bug Bite, which is Kyle Patrick and Logan Park. So all my fish then go to that team. So you can join Team Frank. You could join Team Frank Jr. You could join Team Juice, or you could join Team Matt. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know exactly what the teams are.
Yeah, I don't. But I when you have him on, you got to let me know when, so I could watch it.
I understand. It makes a lot of sense once you understand it, but it takes like an hour or two to totally get it. But now I get it, because then there'll be an additional prize if you're on the winning team that you guys get for that too. But 100% all goes to St. Jude, so you really don't have anything to lose.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
But that's how an online fishing tournament may have cost me my big toe.
So if your gait changes, if we see you hobbling down to the weigh-in stand, we know the toe didn't go so well.
Yeah. We kind of bounced all over, kind of talked about some stories, did some housekeeping, a little bit of history here, a little bit of current events. I did see though where you and Junior got out on the water this past week.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting. There was a few things going on. We had some rains that came in. Here, I'll just make it real quick. So our air temperatures have been dropping. Our nights have been in the high 40s, low to mid 50s. Day temperatures dropped down. Most of the day temperatures were barely peaking at 70. A lot of 60-degree days. That's changing now. We're getting hot again, but that's changing now. But and then we had some rain. So I was trying to. Frankie said, "Look, Dad, I got a day to go, and I'm excited because him and I used to fish together like nonstop, and geographical distance between us and things he's got going on, we started fishing less and less and less and less and less. So to get out in the boat with him is always fun for me. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. And I start strategizing where to go. And knowing that we've had a couple of weeks where the air temperatures have been down, the water temperatures are cooling. And they're cooling fast. So I was concerned of a couple of things. One, all the rain. I didn't want to pick a muddy body of water. The other thing I was concerned about was, could we get an early flip here, thermocline flip? Because that will be devastating if it flips within 3 or 4 days of us going to the lake. Mm-hmm. We had a full moon, so we were on a 98% bright night sky. So a lot of the bass are predominantly feeding at night during the full moon period. You have a lot of night feeding going on, which makes day fishing slow. Doesn't make it impossible, but it makes it slow. So all this stuff was going through my head at the time. Well, when we got to the lake, I was a little bummed out because the lake had a weird color to it. And I'm like, man, I think this lake flipped, and it had dropped 10 degrees in water temperature from the last time I was on it. And so I'm like, man, this lake might have flipped. And so we go to the first spot right off the rip. I catch two, not big ones, decent, but not big. And then Frankie corks one over 4. And I'm like, okay, it's just going to be, we're going to have to be methodical, slow down. I could see bait up on the high spots. I could see bait off the edges. So I started running my crankbait through it, and I got nothing running the crankbait down, not even interested in it, to be honest with you. And so I'm like, okay, something's amiss here. And I kept going, man, I think this lake flipped. I think it flipped, and I was kind of, it was off color.
Turnover, flip, same thing. We've done tons of shows on it.
Yeah. And so I wasn't 100% sure about it. So then I went to the slowest freaking thing I can do, which is, I threw a free rig, a flipping stick, and a 5-inch dinger on a 1/10 ounce net head, and wound up catching most of them on the dinger on the net head and some flipping. Frankie stayed on the free rig, caught most of his on the free rig, and the lake went mirage slick flat, like mirage slick. Like it was disgusting slick. And so I said, well, dude, jump on and go do your scope thing. See if we could find these fish floating. So I let him do his thing, and he goes, oh my gosh. And I go, what? He goes, thermocline's 25 feet. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He goes, no, look at this. All the bait fish were packed right above it. Like you could see the thermocline and all the bait was just packed right above that thermocline. And so I go, well, keep looking, maybe you'll find something out here. Well, we couldn't find any of the bass out there either. We had to go shallower to catch them. That's just the way the day went. Now we caught fish. It wasn't the greatest day on earth, but it wasn't a sucky day, but it wasn't the greatest day on earth. So we're getting close to that time now where there's a lot of baits that are working still. You're not narrowing it down to one finite, depth range, one finite pattern, but it's getting close. And so now it's going to be interesting to see, because this week or the end of this week and next week, we're going to start hitting 80s again, or 79, 78. And the nights aren't going to go down into the 40s and 50s. They're going to stay upper 50s, low 60s. So that water cool down is going to almost go to a halt. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm very excited for next week.
We have a couple more weeks also, just little odds and ends, and we really only talk about this as it's happening, but a lot of time and effort also went into the BTL merch drop. Now, Frank,
I got to talk to you about that after.
Oh, good or bad?
No, good, but after we're off.
Yeah. This is donated to the Frank Scalish Fishing Fund. We'll just straight up say that. This is a side hustle for Frank, but it's something that there's been a lot of interest in. BassZone.com or BassTalkLive.com, and then it's right there. You can either go up through the shop BTL or the click here for the BTL merch store. This is only open through September 21st, so we only get a couple shows to talk about this. It is the fall pre-sale. What happens is on the 21st, then once it closes, then they do all of it, so then the orders ship after the 21st. So you'll get them the end of the month, beginning of October. But the BTL Frank Scalish exclusive. Now I'm going to sneeze after you talk me through these shirts.
Okay, so these are the exclusive signature series shirts. Take it away, man, because I was bombing bad.
Well, I mean, I was sneezing and you were coughing, so I mean, I thought we both used the mute button exquisitely there. Like, there's zero coughing or sneezing in the replay. But the Frank Scalish signature series shirts, using the smallmouth bass that Frank has designed with that on the back. We've got a bunch of different colors of that in the Comfort Colors tee, and then only 100 of the patches available for the patch hats. So different colors, different stuff there. This is the
structural element.
This is the one, the one drop there, the structural element.
Now, which one do you like better, the blue one or the green one?
Well, there's the blue, the green, and the gray, and I like all three. I think I wasn't a huge fan of the blue, but thankfully when I said that we weren't going to do it, I had two listeners that messaged me and said, I like the blue. I want to get the blue when we showed this. So we left the blue in, then we added the army green and the gray, but those are actual contour lines behind there for Frank's signature phrase.
Because I'm still waffling on which ones I'm going to get. I'm still waffling back and forth.
Well, you can get all of them. Just send me. We can get those at cost, Frank. Unlike LureNet, where you pay full price for the lures that you design and paint. Let me know what you would like, and I could put that order in. We still have to pay for it, but we get those at cost.
I get 15% off with my BTL 25 code.
Yes. Like I said, we're walking through this. This is only for 2 weeks. If you're out on the merch, then we're pretty much at the end of the show. You can check out, but we're going to walk through it again. That was the Browns color with the smallmouth on it and underneath it. And that's the same tee that the Day 4 hoodie is in too. So I'd go like I'm a large, but I would go extra large in that hoodie just because of how thick it is. And then after you wash it, the fibers tighten up. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I do a double X in that, and I'm 210, 5'11".
Yeah, just to give you a little bit of room. I still wear my large, but in that one, and I've washed it 20, 30 times. But that, and then BTL drop too, kind of got that the same. The classic BTL stuff. collared shirt in case you have a court date. And then there's 100 of the hats. These are PVC labels there. Oh, you haven't seen this,
dude. You put you got those in.
So so Court was all about. I wish I had him there. So I'm getting married on the 25th. So we've got koozies for everybody that are fish, and we went through Catherine at ATS Printing for them. And I said, while you're at it, I said, see if you can wrangle up some BTL koozies. So she came with this design and then put the circle logo on the bottom of it instead of just having the green and the black. I think those freaking look awesome.
I am so on those.
So what I wanted to try to do on that is, because shipping sucks, right? It doesn't matter what you do. Like I bought Carl Jacobson shirts and a bunch of other ones. When you're doing the independent stuff, you're paying a little bit for shipping. So I put those down there for just like $4.95. So if you throw a couple of the koozies in there, at least you feel like you can get something for a little bit more that helps cover the shipping a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I love those koozies. So I have a koozie trick. Are you in?
Yeah.
Okay, so
do I need to have the koozie pulled up?
Pull it up.
Okay.
So I am a beer drinker. And so when I turn on the Indians game or the Browns game, I will have a beverage in my koozie. So what I do is I have 2 koozies, and they're the neoprene ones like those are.
Mm-hmm.
And I get them wet underneath the sink. I run water on them, get them wet, shake them out, and then I make them open like the cans inside of them, make it open, and I put it in my freezer.
Oh.
And it freezes the koozie.
Okay.
All right. Now you don't get runoff from it when it drips because it never drips, because you're just freezing the neoprene. And then when you put the beer in there, it keeps it cold so long, dude.
I like it. Disclaimer, I do not know what that does to the screen printing on the koozie. So
well, so far the ones that I have, it does 0 to it.
I like it.
Because Noah's wedding, they had koozies. And so
well, there'll be koozies at my wedding as well.
Yeah, so I use those ones, and it works, and it's brilliant, and it keeps your beer cold, when you just want to sip on it and you're not like having a contest. So yeah, perfect. That's my tip of the day.
That's a fantastic tip, Frank. Just the tip. So as uncalled for. And then underneath here, there's like some through the stocking cap back up in there. Oops, at the stage. Yeah, so there's a stocking cap. Keep your ears nice and toasty. And then there's some discounted items. I know this was like a big seller when it was before. There are 2X and 3Xs left in that, and that's like a Sport Tech kind of sport hoodie there. But I designed that logo. That's one of my favorite designs.
Outstanding
for that. And then I think there's a couple, and there might only be like 1 or 2 of those in the 1 or 2X. I don't know how many. They're just cleaning out the rest. Oh, there's mediums in that, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL.
Perfect.
So, and I think there's still a couple of the there's still a couple of the Christmas sweaters for $20.
That's frightening.
So that's open through September 21st,
which will come in handy for a ugly sweater contest this Christmas.
Yeah. Anything else, Frank? I'm headed to Lake Scott from the Bass Tank. I got my new 0 degree transducer mount from Beatdown.
Nice.
I don't know if they're out yet or if it's kind of like a prototype that we're testing out, but that's going on. And I got to get rid of that 18-incher, try to upgrade on the old Scott Martin. I'm telling you, dude, like once you get the hang of it and understand it.
Well, that's why I want
addictive.
Why I want this guy to go through it, dude, because I fish all the time and I need,
like I said, we're working on it. I'm trying to get it done. I know it's getting cold up north, but
oh, I don't care, dude.
Like I don't know how to say it, but like as a tournament guy since I was 14 years old, it's always your 5 biggest. It's always been the weight. The inches thing I haven't understood. The online thing I haven't trusted or understood. Like it hasn't been my thing. And
but you called me the other day. You were pretty amped up, dude.
It's just so I'm not amped up just on like that I'm in the tournament, but I can see how the dots could connect to where we could get a lot of the day 4, a lot of the BTL listeners and viewers involved in something that they haven't been, but where even more of a sense of community and even more of a sense of excitement. And it just is kind of like that common thread that ties it together. And then the fact that every cent of it is going to St. Jude and not, we're not taking a percent. Fishing Chaos isn't taking a percent. Like their sponsorship is, they're running the back end, and then all of the money that's brought in. And then I've already talked with my sponsors, the sponsors of BTL, about most of them. I haven't gotten to LureNet yet. I'm hoping I've got, anybody at LureNet you can talk to, Frank?
I don't know.
I'll for the Frank Scalish one, but they're all like, yeah, let me know what you need and we'll bring that in. So, we're talking $2,000 rain suits and hundreds of dollars worth of line and all sorts of different, like, really cool prizes that will be monthly and then for the overall tournament of it. So
that's pretty cool.
What my goal is, I want someone to go, I've not done it. I'm not sure about it, but screw it. Even if I hate it, it's a donation that goes to St. Jude. And then once you go out and you try it, you measure some fish, you submit it, you can look at the leaderboard at any time. I think you'll be like, okay, I'm in on this.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm curious. I'm super, super curious. So when you have the guy on, I'm all in on that episode, man.
Mr. Bob said, if you make multiple orders, can we get it on the same shipping cost? That's a good question. I'd have to ask Katz. Like if you order something and then you want to order something additional, you might be able to, you know what I mean?
Oh, like, cause they're not going to make them till
after the thing. So like if you order all of it at once, it's obviously in one order, but like it's not going to populate the 2 orders together. So then you're going to pay double shipping. Like let's say you ordered something yesterday and then you want 2 days from now, it's 2 separate purchase orders.
That's a good question. Good job out of whoever asked that question.
Fishing with the bobber. Email me your question on that, matt@basszone.com, and I will forward that to my contact at the clothing company.
Yeah, that's a good question. I love our audience, man.
Yeah.
On top of
Hall of Fame getting there, but we've got a couple more weeks. Today is September 11th, and we have the 18th, and then there will not be a show on the 25th. That is the day of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, so we will be in. It ships directly from ATS Printing, and then we will be at the Hall of Fame, Wonders of Wildlife, Johnny Morris's Palace. So, I'm interested to see how this stuff turns out from Mark. Like as I do that, I probably won't get that done immediately. I've got like 8 things sitting in the studio and on the kitchen count. I know, but I've got like 8 things that need to be framed and put up, like just little cool stuff that I've got.
I have one thing that I have to hang up, and I'm going to put it here or here. And here, let's just do this right now. All right. Is it here?
Is that the Ohio Fishing Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Hold that up so people can see that, Frank. Ohio Bass Fishing Hall of Fame proudly announces the induction of Frank Scalish Jr., Cleveland Heights, Ohio, inductee 2025.
Yeah, that'd be senior, bro. But I'm just saying.
What did I say?
Junior.
I said junior?
Yeah, don't give him
jumping the gun there.
Yeah, don't give him too much damn credit.
Frank Scalish Sr. Sorry.
So there or there?
Right there. Definitely there.
Okay.
It's a little bit less glare and a little bit more obvious.
All right. That's where it'll be next time. I've been not avoiding hanging it up. I don't know why I did not put it up yet. Don't know. Story for another day.
I like it. That's a great suggestion from DeForest Hall.
Which was what? I can't see anything.
6-month subscription to Deep Dive app would be a cool a cool gift to give away.
Oh yeah, dude, that would be good.
Have I ever told my DeForest Hall story on BTL? So
you have not, but you better come back, bro. I'm by myself on this screen.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. I knew that makes you awkward.
It does.
So DeForest and I, we fishing. It was like a tournament series. It was like a catch. It was back as I think it was Podunkers, or it was one of those tournaments deals where it was the championship and it was on this lake. And Forrest hooks. He had this high end crankbait. It was like a tactical bassin crankbait, like one of those like $25 20-foot divers, which I've always been petrified to buy because you lose them.
Well, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, but you don't have pike and muskie where you live, so.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you lose them in the rocks. It's hard. That's one of the beautiful things about a DD22 is you run it through a brush pile, you can break it off, and you're not like on a second mortgage.
Yeah. Well, and let it back.
So he pulls this thing out and he's like, dude, like this is the tactical bet. It's like a $25. And I kid you not, like first cast out of the back of the boat, he hangs like an 8. And I'm like, oh my God. So I like am getting the net ready and stuff. And it comes up next to the boat and just tail walks, plug in its mouth, just whoa, 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 dives under the boat and breaks him off. And I'm like, oh, that's even worse. I'm like, it was like not anything that he did, but it was just way bigger than we were expecting to hook. And even when you've got it set, when an 8-pounder turns with 10 feet of line out, broke off.
Things happen.
And I'm like, oh, that sucks. And he goes, oh no, I'll get that back. Just wait. He goes, I saw I was hooked. He goes, it'll throw that plug. And I'm like, yeah, you're never seeing that plug again. Sure as hell. 30 seconds later, he's sitting there, bloop. Plug pops up. He swims over, gets it with this rod tip. Didn't lose it the rest of the day. Yeah, he said it was the Podunkers.
That is outstanding, man.
Yeah. But, all right.
He's lucky to get it back.
Yeah. Yeah, lucky to get it back. All right, Frank. Same time, same place next week.
You know it.
Been another Dish of BTL Day 4 with the man Frank Scalish. We'll talk to everyone later. See ya.